Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hope you're all well.
Sorry we were chewing.
Yeah, we were inhaling. Inhaling.
The two of us eat a Starbucks sandwich faster than most, because
Yes.
this is what we do every Monday.
Literally every Monday.
Long time no live, it feels like.
It has been a while, hasn't it?
Only 2 weeks, but still.
Oh.
Feels like forever.
We tried to do last week's one. Last Sunday.
A few of you would have caught the IG live, that's
Yep.
right. But not the the hundreds of attendance that we generally see, but better than nothing.
It's definitely better than nothing.
But we're back.
Early shout out to our pal John Jensen, who
John.
is with us every week and always is super generous and
Bought us lunch again.
throws a little lunch out. And John lost his mum, as you guys may have seen in the chat there. I can't imagine, John, what you're going through. My mum is the person I'm closest to in the whole world. I couldn't imagine being in your position right now. So, thoughts and love and prayers to you and your family. I hope you all kind of, adjust accordingly, and the whole will always be there. But
do your best.
We're thinking of you anyway, pal. So, cheers to you and cheers to Linda.
Cheers, John. And he said that he bought himself a little Paradigm with some retail therapy.
Yeah.
It's been good.
It's been great, hasn't it?
I mean, it's probably one of the fastest drivers out there. So maybe you get back to us with your first hits with it.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts and how it's been. But it's been good in the bay. Really, really good on speed and retention, stuff like that. So
it's been good on tour.
Good for you, John. And
sorry, pal.
Yeah, thoughts to you, pal.
All right. So we were at PXG last week. Went to PXG from Monday night, got home Thursday night. It was a hell of a facility they have there. I've never been anywhere like that in my life.
It was genuinely one of the best golfing experiences we've ever had.
And it was freezing cold. It was still good. Yeah, the place is unbelievable. If it wasn't 40 mile per hour winds and like 4 degrees, we would have filmed a bunch more than we did. But
genuinely, guys, it would not have. I mean, I know some of the other guys are going to post some content.
It was rough out there.
Like it was not something that really we could have done an awful lot with.
The schedule was tight as well.
The schedule was tight, trying to get a lot in on the golf course. I mean, it was so windy.
It was unbelievable. We were almost falling over.
We literally were, but we had fun. We
did have fun.
We played with. We made a new pal, Big Alex from Golf Magic in the UK.
Give him a follow.
Yeah, give Alex a follow and follow Golf Magic. Alex does all the equipment reviews. We were rooming with him.
We were in our villa.
And he was just an absolute gem of a lad. So that was one of the best things about going on these trips is. You'll always leave with a new friend.
Yeah, you meet somebody.
Which is great.
It wasn't a huge crowd, but we met tons of nice people.
We did. It was awesome.
So those of you that are asking and are wondering, yes, we did review this ball about a couple hours ago. You will see that come out probably tomorrow. I'd say I'll probably make that first on my editing chopping block. So we did that. We did a cool video on grip size. If you follow the Instagram story, you would have seen that already. And then we got one more we're going to post as well, which we'll leave a mystery.
We will.
Got to have a little mystery in life. Okay, where do I start?
I'm just getting caught up in...
I'll start at the top if you want to go down a little further. Okay, question uno. Is the Tour Edge C522 or Cobra LTDX more forgiving than a 2016 M2 hybrid? Okay, so we've got a 6.5-year-old hybrid versus a couple of new ones. It's hard to say. I mean, hybrids. M2 was a good hybrid at the time.
Yeah, but I think you're probably.
I mean, it's been long enough.
Ready to change. I would think.
What are some options on the cheaper side? I mean, Tour Edge would be your cheaper side for sure.
Yeah.
You could look at some direct-to-consumer brands, but
look at some last year's products, some 2022 products.
That'd be a good idea. Which the LTDX should be a bit of a sale because obviously Aerojet's out, so I think you're on the right track there.
We always really like, I think since we started the channel, we've kind of consistently said Ping and Titleist make the best hybrids.
They do, yeah.
So I would probably lead you towards. One of those, a TSI. If you want to save a few bucks, you could probably pick up some of those. They were really nice. And
G425.
And also some G425s. Yeah, I was trying to think in my head
know.
there. I'm like,
What number are they on?
When did they go from 816s to 818s? When did they go into the TS range? But there was a TSI hybrid range. Yeah, that's good.
Good choices.
Very good choices.
Quick one here from Brandon. Brandon says he wants to replace his TaylorMade ATV grind. He wants the versatility. What else is that? ATV grind is quite different, unique looking thing, isn't it?
It is.
Is that the high toe that has that? Or
Uh-huh.
you can't get that in an MG3.
No. Honestly, I mean, we're going to try and pluck one out the air for you. There's so much complexity to grinds and which grind you need, etc. So, Brandon, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you to do the right thing. Go get fit. Go and make sure you try a bunch, because you don't know what you like until you try some stuff. You know, so it's still game. I always think the episode is still game, where the guy, the old guy in Still Game, loses his wife, and his friends come in to support him. They go, "How do you like your tea?" He's like, "I don't know."
Oh, right.
And then he's like, "Well, you know, you've got to try stuff to know what you like." Right, so unless you go into an environment like this where you can try low bounce, wide sole, narrow sole and high bounce, you've never tried narrow sole and high bounce until last week.
That's true, and it's something
And you
special.
loved
It was wild.
You absolutely loved it. So,
Yeah.
point being, Brandon, you really have to, if you're trying to replace something that you really liked. If you want something like an ATV sole, get an ATV sole.
I know.
Go buy a new wedge with
Get
an
a new fresh one.
ATV sole.
Yep.
If you want to try something similar, just go out and open yourself up, because everyone's going to have different, sole widths and trail relief. It might be a C grind on there, all sorts of different stuff. So
Agreed.
too many options to pluck one.
Yeah. The PXG wedge, that's not new, right? The one that we tried, that's been out for a bit.
The Sugar Daddy.
Yeah, I was hitting some with a 13-degree bounce.
56, 13,
Yep,
narrow sole.
Really narrow sole in Arizona where it's firm, and I just kind of looked at the fitter like, "Are you serious with this? This is going to be a disaster." But it was great. Little tiny divots, nice through the turf, tons of spin. I was like, I guess I don't know shit about wedges because this is working great.
And that's the thing. Like, I couldn't go and pick a wedge out of that bag over there that has a sole even close to as narrow.
I've never seen
that was.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Well,
What
definitely.
grind was it? BP?
Couldn't tell you. The Ball Parsons.
I'm not sure if it was.
I didn't ask.
I'm not sure.
I was, as you can tell, it was like 5:15. The sun was going down. It was getting cold. He's like, "Do you want to hit a few wedges?" I
Started
said,
to rain and stuff
yeah.
as well, wasn't it?
I could not hit a few wedges because the short game area is so nice, but
It's amazing. Honestly,
It's unreal.
I'd love to go back tomorrow.
I was hitting 95-yard shots.
That's
how
insane.
long you can hit.
I would want to just do 2 hours. Never mind a full bag in 2 hours. I'd want to
2 hour
do the
wedges.
whole thing and just do the wedges in 2 hours.
Oh, you could easily. They had like 8 bunkers. Anyway, you're going to hear us talk about that trip for a long
A
time.
long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Dave Fogel, where are our tans?
Dude, they're fading. There was no sun.
It was blown off. It
was
blown off our face by the wind.
It was a wind burn, not sunburn. Yeah.
It was.
Let me grab Jack, and then we'll go to a new one after this one. I don't want to forget this. Jack has a fitting on Saturday. He's looking to fill the gap between his 3-wood and 4-iron. Okay, it's a substantial gap. I'm stronger with irons than loft. Okay, can't decide to go with utility iron. 7-wood hybrids go left. Okay, so he's eliminated the hybrid.
I think you're probably going to be, in driver iron or utility iron territory.
Sounds
if
like
you don't
he is,
like
eh?
hybrid, I don't fancy your chance of liking 7-wood that
He's going to hit it
much
super
easier.
high, isn't he?
Hybrids go left. Yeah, you're going to hit it very high. Yeah.
Sounds like you're a driving iron guy. Some favorites. The new Strixon one is gorgeous.
Strixon always make a really, really good one.
I think Titleist is great. I love theirs. Those are two nice.
The Cobra one was really nice this year.
Oh, that's true. I'm
Yeah,
totally
utility.
forgetting about how good that was. Yeah, good point. I think I like all those three because they're reasonable for a normal person to hit.
Yeah.
I like Callaways. I like TaylorMades, but they're thin sole. Like I think they require a little bit more ball striking prowess. But yeah.
Christopher Sorensen, hey guys, just got fitted for my new irons.
Lovely.
Got fitted into 2-degree flat. Should I get my wedges flattened also? Yes.
You should.
Yeah, without a doubt. Wedges sometimes can even be more flat than irons.
You might be going 3 flat.
You might be. Topical.
We We got.
Hiti Hong, hey lads, should we be expecting an in-depth 923 forged and tour review soon?
I'm going to edit it this week.
We're
so
gonna
it's
edit
actually.
it, yeah.
So you tell the story. You were at Mizuno's facility this past summer.
So we were down in at TPC Sugarloaf, just outside Atlanta in the summer, just when it was like June last year.
Okay. Yeah.
So down with Vosh and Dave Matthews was over from England, and who else was there? Matt was there from the tour staff, who's now with Cobra tour staff. So there was a few guys over. So it was basically just a first look at the product.
Okay.
We got to chime in some of their stuff. We done some videos with our DNA.
You did that too?
Fitting tool.
So it'd be you and Mikey, or who went down?
That was just me.
Oh, it's just you?
Just left
Took
me.
you went solo?
Yep, Han Solo. So it was good.
So we have the footage. I'm going to edit it and post it this week. So you guys will see that. Where were we?
Justin's asking Axiom iron shafts testing coming soon.
Should text Mikey. They must be coming by now.
hope so.
We ordered a few sets, so I can lift the secret now. I'm going to have Mikey put them into the Cobra irons that Cobra was nice enough to send me, a little combo set.
Yep.
Ian's going to bend them 4 degrees flat because apparently that's what I need these days. That was great. That was great.
I know. There were 2 major changes to your specs happened today.
Yeah, I need to look at grip, and I need to look at flat.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't look at flat. I'm going to do it.
You're going to go flat.
It's not. I'm not. I was 4 degrees up a bunch of times.
Yep.
And missing
right.
Missing right, and Ian's just like, well, why don't we just bend these flatter? And
Let's not make it
was
hard.
Definitely easier to control. I mean,
We can always bend them back.
you can always bend them back. Yeah. So Axiom, hopefully in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I have to ask Mikey if those arrived yet.
Definitely. Can you please speak to this one, Matty boy? Because we, I guess, are in the perfect spot. Marcus is asking, Marcus Watkinson's asking, do you have any advice on how to approach custom fittings when implementing swing changes?
Oh, that's such a good question.
It's a great
We're
question.
both doing it right now.
We
aren't
are. We are.
I was trying to pull up Mark's question, but I can't find it. But anyway, you read it off. I think there are. Well, as you always say, I think you're better off doing it with a fitter that knows you a bit.
Yeah.
That maybe has seen your swing as it's progressed. So it's kind of like, for me, you know where I'm going with my swing because you are obviously present for my lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
So for example, today you were like, I think it's time for you to go flatter. That's not by any means a change that's going to have any risk of messing me up. If anything, I've just been getting more and more toe up as the lessons progress.
Right.
So that was an easy decision. You were talking about, are you ready to look at sort of shafts for your irons and stuff? I'm probably not quite ready there. So I think part of it is, I guess you just have to know when you've reached a comfort level enough to where you want to go get fit. But I think everyone is always working on their swing. You can't just wait. You can't just be, I'll get fit when I'm good. It's like, well, will you ever really stop trying to improve? I won't. So
yeah. I mean, I think if you're full blown, struggling to make any reasonable contact, I think start there.
Yeah.
If you can make good contact, you can be fit.
Yeah,
that's a rule of thumb across the board. If you make good contact, you can be fit. Because if you can make good contact, then what you do is predictable. If you hit it all over the face, what you do is not predictable. So you start adding in face to path discrepancies with strike point discrepancies, and then really the ball's not reacting relative to what your swing is doing. It's reacting to the way the club was designed and what your swing is doing. When you add those 2 things together, it's too volatile.
Agreed.
So one thing with Matt's game right now is he's making brilliant contact. Probably the best contact
True.
I've seen.
Contact has been very, very good.
Very centered, very solid. So while that's why I thought about the lie angle, because while the ball's not quite going where you want, you're making really good contact, and I think it's starting to layer upon the things for you now that will make a manage or a sizable difference in your ball flight.
It's a good point. Yeah, if you look at contact pattern is good. If your swing dynamics, like, are you the same amount in to out and down on most swings? That, I think both of us have seen that. Like, if that's starting to get into a window, your contact's good. I don't have great face control right now. I can easily tell you that. Some go left, some go right. But it's not so much that you can't be fit. You're still going to have some kind of a pattern. So.
Right.
And if you go to a good fitter, they'll always have you back anyway, right?
They will.
So
They definitely.
it shouldn't be a one and done, that's for sure. Speaking of fitting, we would be remiss if we did not mention that if you want to get fit and save some money right now.
TXG 50.
Yeah, so basically for the month of March, so you can't book it for tomorrow, which is the last day of February, but for the month of March,
Right.
Any Club Champion fitting, you can get 50% off of it as long as you buy clubs, for $500 or more, which most club purchases are.
Yeah, even really stock of anything.
I mean, if you buy a couple wedges, if you buy a 3-wood, you're likely going to be over it. So it's a good time to get fit. You just have to mention, I'm sure you can book it over the phone, but the booking link is also in the description. You can book online. Tell them TXG sent you.
TXG sent you.
Yep. If you're in the US of A, obviously.
This is the time of year, guys, when you want to, I mean, even if you're not looking at necessarily changing out all your clubs, you want to try and get in, and have a look and assess your bag.
It'd be a good time for a loft and eye check too, wouldn't it?
Brilliant to come in and have a little, just a little, we call it up here, it's our distance review.
Right.
So we basically, we'll go in and review the bag and go, okay, there's good balance to it, or okay, you really need to focus on your fairway woods. They're not in keeping with the rest of your bag, that type of thing. So, or if you're just ready to make a change.
If you haven't bought a driver in 7 years or something, and you see all the new shiny stuff. I mean, there's some great stuff this year.
Definitely, guys. I mean, one of the things I think is probably maybe worthy of a video at some point, but some of the tactics around buying golf clubs in a tough economy is probably something that's
how you can save some money.
How you can go about it without
Breaking
having
the
to break the bank and without having to have your game suffer. If you might look at it and go, okay, lots of different things right now. Maybe you're paying a little bit extra when you go to the grocery store or the gas station. Everything
costs more.
Everyone is. So, there's some really great options, whether it's finance programs, whether it's trade-ins
it's a good point.
Of old clubs. I mean, you can put dollars back in your pocket and obviously try and stretch out your budget, the budget a little bit, and that way you can get more value out of your fit.
I also think if you, we saw it with Ronnie, I think that video was great. We've never had more comments in a video in years.
I know.
People just going, no, get the Autoflex. No, don't get the TSR.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Ronnie, because we found a stock shaft that worked for him, technically could save himself $1,200.
Yeah.
So I think with how good the stock shaft offerings are right now, if you guys are looking for clubs, you can be fit into, a stock offering. You really can.
Without a doubt.
So, that's our budgetary advice.
Yeah. Definitely.
For your luxury golf items.
I think it's a good point for us to kind of touch upon over the next few months, because it's the reality. I mean, we were talking to Bob Parsons about it.
Yeah, Bob was mentioning how the pricing has to be reasonable right now because the economy is not good.
He's very, very conscious, and obviously PXG have been moving in that direction. But he is very, very adamant that he wants to offer golf clubs at better value than basically everyone else, because he is the one who makes the decisions. There's no boards. There's no it's not a publicly traded company, anything like that. Literally, they can manage, their own kind of pricing structure.
Which he did mention, interestingly, will become much more consistent.
Yes.
So he kind of mentioned, you'll get bits and pieces of our chat with him. It's actually he's a fun guy to talk to. But he mentioned basically, you asked a good question. You said, was it always the plan to go from super premium pricing back to reasonable? He said yes. So that's what they've done.
Yeah.
And then right after that, he said, and the big sales and discounts, he's like, that stuff's going to stop. We're not going to be doing that anymore. We want it to be consistent.
Yeah.
So I think what you see once Gen 6 comes out, they're going to be quite consistent across the board. So it'll be interesting where they slot in. Will they slot in like where Cobra is? Will they slot in kind of where Titleist is? We'll find out.
The good thing with them is, they're through their generations. They've got the 0211 product, which is their budget line, $99 an iron.
Is that what they're charging?
That's what it is.
Dude, that's wild.
If you buy 5 or more, which most people will.
I hope you will,
$99.
$99, eh? Yeah, good for them.
It's great value. It really is. And to that point, I just saw this come in from Chase Hill 007.
007.
Did you guys come away with from PXG with a different understanding of the company?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know 90% of Bob's story is really quite cool.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone who was a rifleman in the Vietnam War, Just imagine surviving that, first of all, and then ending up coming back and becoming a business person, an entrepreneur, and all the stuff that had to happen in between.
It's a blue collar story, isn't it? It's a blue collar story.
Came about it honestly, didn't he?
Came about it with really limited means to start with. Went into the military, came out, wasn't really academic.
What was the job he was working when
he was in a steel.
Right,
worked in like a steel factory.
and he's like, this is not going to be my life.
Not his. So he came out, got a CPA.
Wow.
Ended up developing some software that's used currently in TurboTax and
Which
some other tax software.
So interesting. So Intuit owns a lot of the stuff that he developed, which is wild.
Yeah, and then obviously the GoDaddy. So I think people know the kind of the military side of things and the GoDaddy side of things, but really the bit in between.
I never knew.
There's not many. I didn't know it. So it was nice to sit with Bob's one of Bob's senior staff members, Steve Gabay, and Steve gave us a really interesting rundown. The two of us were just sitting, taking it all in. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we didn't say much in the interview, but it was good.
Yeah,
you'll see bits and pieces of it. I kind of want to save certain stuff for when we review the Gen 6. He had a really cool story about the origins of why their first iron and their subsequent irons have a polymer in the middle.
Yeah.
That story's cool. I don't want
cool.
I don't want to ruin it now because it's really smart. But yeah. No, I definitely did. I think PXG, as you were saying, and Bob said this, it used to be clubs basically for no one, like statistically for almost no one, and now it's clubs for a pretty wide segment of the market when it comes to pricing. So, interesting story.
Very, very cool.
So it'll be good to get the clubs in the bay and actually see how they perform, because we definitely got some good TrackMan numbers, but I'd like to see it, in our space.
Definitely.
All right, I got one here from Jack Woods, if that's okay. Quick follow-up for Jack. Jack, that we answered your question. The reason he hates hybrids is they go left. You can answer this, but go with a company that goes flat. I mean, honestly, get a Ping G430, put it in the 3-degree flat setting, and go a little short. Does that help? Like a little shorter than standard? That'll right bias you all day. He's basically just saying that's the reason he doesn't like the hybrid. We said driving iron, but...
To expand, that's the thing. Like, I mean, you can definitely try. You can definitely try some, some hybrids that don't. Companies are very aware of the fact that people struggle with the left ball.
They're aware of it now. They maybe weren't like 7 years ago, but they sure are now.
They definitely are now. For
just
sure.
Apologies, guys. I'm putting in the chat that you might want to hang on to your question until next week, because we're going to do a little bit of a shorter live today, and there's a bunch. So we will be here next week, though, so don't worry.
Golf 007 is asking, when are the Gen 6 line coming out? It will be the 27th of March.
Oh, perfect. So we'll film. I'll let this cat out of the bag. We have a fitted set of all of them each. So you guys aren't just going to get a review of them. You're basically going to see how they perform once fitted.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is great.
We'll be in basically to both hit our sets and
can't wait.
Take a look at the numbers.
I don't think we've ever been able to do a review of a full set like that. Definitely had Callaway's been good to us. Cobra, they will send us like a fitted set, but this is the first time we did a fitting. Kind of came home with the clubs. Yours are already sitting in your living room, so wild. Okay, I saw one here. Just let me get back up to date. Jack Woods wants to know, why can't PGA give Tiger the option of a cart? Imagine the ratings, competition quality, if he could play at his best. I don't think it's that the PGA won't. I think it's that Tiger won't. Tiger said no.
I've heard that he does not. He would not consider using a cart.
I think he said it publicly. I think the PGA would give him a cart, personally. I think if he applied and said, because John Daly had a cart for a bunch of PGA championships.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I believe PGA would give him a cart, Jack. I think it's that Tiger said, I would not do that. I don't want to compete that way. And that's fair enough. I think he wants to, he knows that walking the course and the endurance of 4 rounds is part of the game. And I don't think he wants to win in a cart.
That's exactly
I just think that's what it is.
He doesn't want an asterisk against.
He doesn't want an asterisk.
A major win or anything.
I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, it would be great if he would play more often and all that stuff, but you have to respect the guy and that he wants to play the game the way it was intended, and fair enough. Fair enough. Luke is asking about new Haywoods. Driver.
We have them now.
We do?
We do. They are in...
Are we okay to test them?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
we've actually been testing them internally within the group, so they look really good. Look really nice. So
the top line, I've only seen a photo of the top. It looks like the Cobra driver does.
It's very nice.
Yeah, good.
They've done a really nice job with it. So and I know I know Josh is super proud of them, and
Sweet.
not an easy thing. DTC companies typically they can almost shy away a little bit from the wood side of things.
You can see why, the
yeah,
way.
you can. It's
I
definitely.
can see why they can make a nice iron, but when you
Yeah.
make woods, it's like look at all the people we've met in the industry, the R&D teams that make a driver. You know what I mean? And just like to make them look a certain way, and so there's lefties of the Haywoods too, because Josh sent me an email or a text at one point that there'll be lefties. So Tacoma coming out with woods too.
Are they really?
I saw a spy photo.
I've not really heard much from them. I mean, they seem to be diving. They seem to be diving a lot in with the UK guys.
I think they sponsored Golf Sidekick, who's the lad from South Africa.
Okay. Oh, I do know. Somebody, Wonder told me about that guy.
I think dude, he's hilarious.
Is he?
He's so funny.
He does course vlogs and stuff, doesn't he?
Basically exclusively, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and they're funny as hell. He's always a pretty good player too. Like he'll do some stuff about like his lessons and stuff, but mostly it's just like he started by just like set up his phone, shot tracer, and then he would voice over the whole round.
pretty cool.
Remember what I told you? I'm like, I think the first time we do a course vlog, we should make sure we get everything filmed, play golf, and then when we
That would be cool.
debut
I
it,
know what you're going to say. Yeah.
the two of us sit in the top corner, Jim Nance and
I think that's a
whoever,
great
and,
idea.
and we commentate it as it's happening. That way you can actually play golf and not go, hey guys, I'm hitting a 7-iron,
Yeah.
I'm going to shape it from left to right. Like you'll go like, oh, I had a 7-iron here. Like that's the way to do it.
I really like that. It's like, because I've thought about that even when I watch other course vlogs.
It's hard to
And
play,
I can
right?
almost don't like it's hard to play
Hard to
because
play.
like you would never, walk out to the point where you're going to land your chip and go, I want to land it here, and then I want it to do this and that, and then you end up duffing it.
And
it's
if
like,
you ever play with someone
you
that
look like an
talks all
absolute-
that much, you're just like, can you
know.
shut up? And then you duff and you look like a total tool. Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
I think that's the way we'll do course vlogs. Is I'd like to have it filmed really nice.
That would be cool.
Shot tracer and everything, and then the two of us talking heads will commentate it on our own rounds.
like the sound
Jim
of that.
Nance. Speaking of cool stuff, I got to show people this really quick. I know we're running behind, but so that's my phone. Believe it or not,
Squeaky, squeaky.
it's okay. So the latest iOS update, you can put your phone as there's Ian in real time. Are you gonna hit lefty?
Real time. I'm not going to ping it lefty.
Hi, boy. Is that 4 degree spot for you? So that's him in real time webcamming off my phone in the hitting bay. Come on, be good. Not bad at all.
Not bad. Contact was made.
That's okay, but you made it go straight and into the range. So this is something that I think we might do on some lives is maybe do some
Hold
of our...
that pose.
I know. No, look, you look great out there, I'll tell you what. We can do some of our little lesson updates this way. Like I can comment, and you can go over there and hit some balls. I can sort of be back and forth with you, and then you can do the same. So I don't know. You know how I love technology.
That's
to
a
show
find.
people.
That's a little find.
It's pretty damn cool. And it was totally by accident. I'm setting up the live, and it says, do you want to use your phone as a webcam? I said, maybe.
Hell yes.
We have a $15,000 camera, but sure, I'll use my phone as a webcam. Why not? All right, where are we? This is a quick question. Is it possible to get fit at Ping HQ like we did?
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Also, just to dispel any rumors, no, we are not sponsored by Ping. No, Ping did not pay Ian to play I-230s.
I'm being paid a fortune.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
Fortune.
So any of the few dozen people that thought we had, for whatever reason, accepted the Ping sponsorship because we like 2 clubs, no, that did not happen. Nor have we accepted any other sponsorship, so relax. And leave us be.
Yes.
You got one ready, or you want me to take one?
El Bandito is in the house. Hi
Bandit.
guys. Hope everyone is
Hello.
well. Oh, Bandito.
I hope you're all well.
Bandit's actually just got out of his bed. He's celebrating yesterday.
I saw that.
Manchester United won the
Saw that.
Carabao Cup or whatever it's called.
You're slightly hungover, are you, Bandit? A couple
He's-
drinks last
He
night?
was absolutely steaming.
Good for you. As you should be.
Definitely.
All right, Chris Washburn just got fitted at Club Champion in Bellevue. Where's that?
No idea.
Someone will tell us. On Saturday, got fitted for Cobra CBMBs, Project LZ65. You're welcome for all the content. That is a great set of irons. That's very nearly what I'm going to be playing.
Very
Except
close.
I'll probably try the graphites in them first.
That's what I ended up getting into in my nice new set last week.
Oh, that's right, LZs.
That's LZs. Feel
So
good.
that's what's coming in your PXGs? Yeah, I, for whatever reason, had a great time with C-Taper out of just the clear blue sky. Not one that I don't think I've ever hit well before, but for whatever reason, it worked. Has Ian switched from coffee to tea? You're a bit confused. He's never been a coffee drinker.
Never,
I'm the
ever.
one consuming
Yes.
the coffee beans. He's always always a tea.
Always a tea.
How is your tea today, by the way? Is it acceptable?
Joe, it's all right. I just got to the bottom there and it tasted a little bit too milky, which it does my head in. Because
I just love that every time I ask you, there's no
never right.
answers are the same.
No.
There's always something quite different about it.
So the place I go to first thing in the morning, they they pretty much always get it right. Always.
At your
Because
Starbucks.
I go there every time.
Hello, Galvin. How would you
hello,
like
Galvin.
your tea?
But sometimes, if anyone works for Starbucks or if anyone makes somebody a tea, don't put the milk in first.
Why would anyone ever do that?
I know, that's the worst, right? And I know as literally as soon as I hold the cup whether they've got it wrong. that's where we've got to in life.
Just Jedi level.
So if I go to Starbucks and grab the cup and it feels cool at the bottom, I know the milk is sitting right at the bottom.
So it hasn't
and
mixed
it's
in?
scalding hot, and then you need to give it the whole swirl, try and mix it in.
Spill it in your car.
All goes wrong.
Yeah, Ian's a tea man. You don't like coffee at all, or
No,
you just never developed a taste for it?
never. No. My brother likes a little latte, so if I'm
Does
with him, he and I'll. maybe
That's
have
different.
a
A
latte or
latte's
something
fine.
like
Yeah, latte's tasty. Or a mocha like Bob was drinking.
that. Aye, a little mocha, 17 of them, just to keep him
He
going.
had about 14 in them,
He
yeah.
had too many. 6 hours worth of meetings.
I don't
so
know how he did that.
I know.
Yeah, you know, he's a lot older than I am. I would, about the second interview in, I'd be like, enough. Leave me alone. Stop asking me questions. All right, Kyle is asking, are there common setup mistakes, this is a great question, that you have to address in a fitting? If so, what are they? Alignment, ball position, face angle, etc. What is the most common, like, you know, low-hanging fruit that you see? People step in the bay, they hit their first few shots. You know, are people aiming to right field?
Alignment's a big one,
Okay.
for sure.
Ball position must be a big
So
one.
yeah, sometimes for players, a lot of the time ball position is too far forward. That causes the shoulders to open
Do
too
you see
much.
that the most often?
A lot, yeah.
Forward, not back.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very, very, very rarely
Rarely.
back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Definitely.
Good question, Kyle.
Mr.
Excelente.
David Morrison. I'm not sure if it's the David Morrison that I know, but I kind of think it might be because it's a shaft question.
That he likes.
He likes a shaft question. Does my old pal
That's
David?
a good question, actually.
Thoughts on the new Tour ADCQ? I love it. I have it in my.
It is in your 3-wood, isn't it?
Yeah, in my 3-wood and 5-wood.
It's a great fairway shaft. We tested it, and I remember you saying, like, it's okay with the driver. I bet you it's a great fairway shaft.
Yeah.
And a couple weeks later, I come in and you've got it in your 3 and 5 wood.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm really like some people don't. Some people like the continuity through the bag of having the same fairway wood and driver shafts.
Yeah.
I don't for some reason.
Yeah.
Like Hazardous Blue is a fairway wood shaft I love.
But you wouldn't play it in the
I
driver.
don't like it in the driver. It just does not feel right in the driver for
Yeah,
me
that's
at all.
fair enough. Yeah.
David, it's a perfect match for a 3-wood or a 5-wood. I have my 3-wood at 42.5, so half-inch short, and I play my 5-wood at 41.5. So
We may sneak a video in next week with what you've ordered for yourself. And they're not
Yes.
pings, so chill out.
They're not pings. There's not. Yeah. There's. Yeah. I think
You haven't
my
posted that
bag
on
is
Instagram,
closed.
have you?
No.
Okay,
no,
good. So
I've
don't-
not.
don't-
I'll leave that.
leave it a
yeah,
mystery, yeah.
There's some.
I'd like to. I mean, I saw you hit a few with them. They're nice. They're really nice.
Yeah,
That was
I
also a
do.
good story with what you ordered.
Yeah.
You should get a copy of your spec order. That would be funny. Put it on the screen. The email that Ian sent was like a novel. I would like the following.
that's literally how it went. And then I was like, at the end of it, I was concerned, like maybe the was there any other details they needed? So I sent Graham a message. I'm like, let me know if there's any other details you need. Like he sent a big LOL.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I think this will be fine.
You've actually mentioned a few details I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to take this one. It's too funny. Just learned my 2004 Nike Forge blades don't conform to USGA grooves. That's bizarre. What the hell does that even mean? Well, they were made, before the rule, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That sucks. Do you guys have a favorite pure blade from a look and feel? You first. Pure blade, meaning no nothing, no tech, no weight distribution, no perimeter weighting, nothing. Pure.
I would say I really like, to be honest, those Mura 502s are gorgeous.
Okay, I thought you'd say that.
They are
I
gorgeous.
didn't know what you were thinking about all that time.
I was thinking MP29s.
Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah.
That was a
Mizuno
really
blade
nice one,
is-
yeah, from a while back. But Yeah, I would say.
Miura's?
Miura's.
For me, I think the last blade that Titleist produced, to me, just is the epitome of a blade.
Yeah, gorgeous. So clean.
I wouldn't play them because I'd probably clank every single one of them off the toe. But yeah, there's nothing going on but a Titleist stamp on the back, right?
Yeah. Definitely. There's another blast from the past. Where's
Some we haven't seen it. Joe!
Joe?
Hello, Joe.
Been a while since I've seen our old pal Joe.
Let me find that. Is that towards the bottom?
Yep.
Haven't seen him in ages. There he is. There's our pal Joe.
Yes.
Okay, Joe. Hope all is well. We are. Question for you. He says, concerned that... okay. He's asking, are you concerned that G430 Max will spin too much once you, I guess, develop your speed?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I'm not in the slightest, honestly, Joe. I've been testing, like in pushing my speed a little bit. I've been kind of back up in the high 160s ball speed wise. So, like, I know I'm not that far away from where I want to be, but the spin doesn't really go up with it, which is great. So the high spinners are like 2700, the low spinners are maybe 2100. Has the tightest window from a spin perspective I've ever seen from a driver.
So when you push your speed, your dynamic loft isn't going up. That would be the cause of it, no?
Yeah.
Like a ball doesn't just spin because of speed; it's because of the loft.
There's some speed implications.
Is that right?
Yeah, yes.
So all being equal, same dynamic loft, same attack angle.
More speed goes in, more.
Just more spin.
Yeah.
What's the physics of that?
It depends. So I mean, depends on how much loft you have on the way the head is designed, but more speed, more friction.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it spends more time on the face.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, guys, we're gonna do a little bit of a speed round, and if you have not asked a question, save it for next week because there is no chance in this world we will get to it. Okay, from the Silent Night. Best way to find the perfect putter lie angle.
Get fit.
Get fit, yeah. You have to get on some kind of monitor.
Go get fit.
You have to. Or have somebody look behind you and see if the toe's up or the heel's up. But yeah, you need to know what it's doing dynamically, obviously. So
Eric thinks I've got a magic ball here. Eric is asking, what shaft is more toe down, a Modus 120 or a steel fiber 110?
if you knew the answer to that, then
That'd be impressive, wouldn't it?
yeah, you'd have
I
yourself.
don't even know what length you're playing them at. I don't even know what head's on them, Eric. I don't even know how you swing.
A million variables needed, Eric.
If the question is going to which shaft would likely have more downward deflection, I think that's probably what you're asking. The Modus 120 would play a little bit softer than a steel fiber 110.
Really? Steel fiber
They're
110s are
very
stiffer?
stiff.
Interesting.
Very stiff,
I
yeah.
didn't think that's what you'd say.
Yeah. They are very stiff now in the butt section.
Right.
So, they tend to feel very, very stiff. The frequency very, very stiff. But
Okay, that's your best guess.
yeah, it depends. I mean, again, down like blades and cavity backs have different amounts of
Sure, yeah.
downward deflection. So, lots of variables.
Okay, from Bill. Bill is asking G430 versus I230 for a shallow ball striker. Swings a 7 iron at 78 miles an hour. Do you see any reason why someone couldn't play a G430 if they're shallow? I don't think the sole's that big, is it?
No, I don't think so, Bill. I think no, they've narrowed it down. They always do a nice job of shaping the sole as well. They've talked quite a lot about rounding that leading edge
It's
on
very
both
round,
of those.
yeah.
So
So I mean, given your clubhead speed, Bill, you probably want to get a little more distance, and G430s are great. So I think that's probably the route you'd want to go.
definitely.
Since we're sponsored by Ping, we'll just make sure he gets into a Ping iron. Wouldn't want to.
Well, we've got to make sure all you guys get into ping. We need glide
Or we'll be
wedges.
fired.
We need, you do remember how flat they can make those hybrids like Matty talked about, right?
No one else does it.
No one.
And if we don't mention that, they will take all the money back that they gave us.
Expo Jesse is asking, any thoughts on the Garmin R10 for range work? Just got fit for the T100s and want to take my game seriously this year and get to a scratch. And 8 currently.
Not tried it.
No,
Expo Jesse. Not
but
tried it.
I've heard some decent things in the reviews that I've seen. So
It's one of the better reviewed ones.
one of
I
the
would
better
agree.
reviewed ones. I don't know what the cost is. That's my biggest thing.
Me neither.
I think at the same price point though, I'd lead most people to Flight Scope.
Flightscope's little Mevo is good.
The little Mevo guys.
There's another
very,
one that I
very
saw the
good.
other day that's apparently Rapsodo is apparently pretty good.
Oh, is it?
It's like a weird little, looks like a little like 360 camera.
Okay.
But we will probably
seen
not be
that one.
dabbling in that because every time we've ever tried to test one, it's been a nightmare. So.
Fingers
Oh,
were
it doesn't
burned.
work. I know. Literally.
Fingers were burned.
Foresight.
Not for us.
Austin just put in, it's his first super chat. Thanks, Austin. Ian's T is on you. Oh, Austin.
what a guy. What a guy.
T is on Austin.
There was something, I saw Joe had put something in there about...
It's right there. Oh, no.
Joe had
No,
put
that's just him saying hi to somebody.
it was about italicized numbers. Got fit indoor on Trackman last week for a hybrid. Every single spin number was italicized. How do companies charge so much money for a fitting that can't properly read spin?
Got to get RCT balls.
Yeah, got to get those
You have
RCT
to.
golf balls.
Why do they work so well?
So much better. Yeah.
As long as you have a little bit of space,
Definitely.
they're way better.
Yeah, I know when we were down in New York doing some fittings last year, indoor at that store, the bays weren't the biggest bays in the world. It was a temporary location that they were in, but they had RCT balls, and I didn't have one italicized number in four days of fitting. Yeah,
I agree with you, Joe. RCT balls are a must.
They are a must.
All right, from Andreas. Hi, friends. Hello. What would be the best pathway into graphite shafts? Okay, interesting question. It's basically saying if you've never tried them before, would you go put them in your irons or would you throw them in the wedges? I want to say irons. I think irons first, Andres.
Yeah.
I think the wedges would be, you may end up keeping the steel. Irons first. And you got more options than you ever have.
Bellevue is in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, okay. That's not what I thought.
Chris?
I would have thought it was, I don't know why I thought it was like Midwest or something. But.
Yep.
Lovely. Washington. I'm just going to do a quick scan here.
Eugene's asking, can we speak a bit about the Fujikura Axiom shaft?
Sure. First impressions, good.
We like it a lot. Very interesting to see a shaft, especially at the spec you were playing at, that is sub 1.5 degrees of torque. So you're down in...
Was it?
Yeah, it was like 1.3.
It felt good.
So they do like they do obviously the long iron, so the parallel tips, so long iron parallel, mid iron and short iron parallel. I think it's like, off the top of my head, like 1.5 degrees of torque in the longs, 1.3 degrees of torque on the mids, and 1.2 degrees of torque in the shorts.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's the advancement, guys, that that have been made now. For a while, shaft companies could make shafts really low torque, but they feel absolutely sucked. For a while there, they were capable of that. But now, to be honest, they've got the balance of bringing that torque down. But the shafts do not suck. They
felt great.
Really, really good for fuel.
No, they felt great.
So
honestly, they felt easier to swing than my Project X's. That's why I'm curious to build up a set.
Yes.
Okay, from our proud John. John, we say this every week. You don't have to give us 2 super chats if you have a question, but you are a beauty. You are a beauty. Okay. He's looking at having TXG build some irons. What a great decision.
That's a lovely
Fine choice.
Lovely.
We recommend. Okay, he's looking at G430s or ZX4s. I think you're in 2 very comparable decisions. Takes shallow divots, and he usually does better with a smaller sole. He's got T300s right now. We don't know anything about new T300s, but let's look at the soles of those 2 irons, and we'll give you an answer.
So I was chatting with John yesterday on Instagram, and I was just telling John, like,
Who's done that?
I wonder if it came out.
There's lead tape.
Let us see it.
There's lead tape in the bay.
Let's see it.
I just
Sorry,
had to
John.
mention that.
Bear
Had to
with
mention
us.
it.
I want to see why the need was. That's why.
There's light head.
It was fractionally light,
Okay.
so the guys wanted to get it back to. See, that's cool. Like
That's pretty cool. The fitters put lead tape on this.
the
That's sick.
boys obviously saw that was a little bit light, or maybe Brian saw it was light or something like that.
There's a couple. The P790 in here has it too.
I love that. Well, sometimes the components don't conform to exactly what we want them to be headweight wise.
Not that we're pooping on Mizuno, just that's the one I
Yeah.
grabbed.
But that's cool to
That
see
is
the
cool.
boys put that to the perfect weight.
Good for the boys. Okay, so let's look at this.
Yeah.
So I would say, if you had the calipers out, I don't think the actual sole is much different in width, John. What the difference is that, I mean, functionally, I guess this is a smaller sole on the Srixon because of how it's the dual sole.
Let's see that one.
But this also is shaved
I
off
was
the
going to say
back.
the shaping of the G430 would kind of tell me that in most conditions, actually, the 430 would be a performance slightly. I see what you're saying about the high like rigid.
You're saying for a shallow player though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think probably, to be honest, I always just think the V-sole is great for steeper players.
Okay, not
I
so
think
much.
that leading edge, if you look at the leading edge in both, how much sharper the Srixon leading edge is. Always
is.
think, I think if the blend of a V-sole with a more rounded leading
rounded
edge, or even a pre-worn leading edge, I think they would really be onto something. I think that leading edge is far too sharp.
I agree. It is too bad. It's very sharp.
Very sharp.
Nothing you can do. It's only wedges you could mess with.
Really
like
is.
you couldn't just throw this on
I
a
mean,
grind wheel, could
you
you?
kind of could, but I mean,
Is that a bit of a risk?
it is,
Face
it
cave
is.
in or something?
Yeah, so walls are really thin in those. But
Okay.
yeah, I would still say the same thing
The
to you, John. I think
G430.
the 430 would be the one for you.
Definitely a little more narrow in the heel as well.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, I know I said it already, but we need to speed round. Okay.
James Morgan is asking, are we planning on reviewing the Costco putters?
I didn't know they had. Probably not.
Not
James.
planning on it.
If one comes through the door, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even think the Canadian Costco's got very many of them, to be honest with
No,
you.
I don't know.
From Brian. Brian wants to know about lab putters. I mean, we tested them. We saw some interesting things. I've putted with it outside before. I've never gone, there's something here that I can't get from another putter. Like, I'm going to putt better with this. I think, Brian, like, you're right that we saw interesting numbers where, like, the face basically didn't move. If it was, if it was as simple as that, I think you'd see everyone using one. I think it's kind of like a launch monitor putter almost, isn't it? Like it produces like no face rotation.
Yes.
But when I go outside, maybe I want some face rotation.
Yeah, face rotation is, high face rotation for people who tend to block putts is good. Low face rotation for people who tend to miss a little bit on the left side is good. So face rotation is a tool that can be used to dial in a player so that face and path can match up with one another. That's its full functionality and versatility. So as much as there's the traffic light system in Quintic, but there are times where you want to override these things. They're only a guiding sort of metric to what the best players do. But that doesn't mean that everyone needs the same thing.
One thing I would say, Brian, is that I haven't tried a lab putter since the original models. So they have come out with a bunch of new ones. I definitely would revisit with some of the new ones. You got Adam Scott using one.
Yeah.
What did you just say was using one? Charles Howell was
Charles
using one?
Howell, Sergio.
Who won the Who Cares Invitational over the weekend? It came up on my cable TV, Channel 11.
Really?
I said to Lindsay, I'm like, Lindsay, Live Golf is on TV. I was like, I didn't even know they had a deal. So Channel 10, where I live, was PGA Tour, and Channel 11 was Live. I turned the Live on for like 20 minutes, and I was like, nah, I didn't hate it, but I also was just like, Charles Howell's winning by like 5. I called it the Who Cares Invitational because my buddy sent me the press conference with Dustin Johnson's team interviews. I was just like, they're just so acting
cringe.
like they just
So
it's so cringy. No one gives and it's just like anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of them. I personally don't believe any of them are being genuinely themselves about it.
No,
I'm
and
sure
Pat Perez is like, oh, I hope to play better this year. It's like, okay, Pat, like whenever you're ready. So anyway. I'm sure there's a few people that are going to yell at us for that, but I don't yet want to watch a Live Golf event. I know that the Honda field wasn't great. I get it. And I turned on the Live and there's nothing but like really big names. I do get it. I'm not an idiot, but I still don't think there's any stakes. I just don't see it. I don't think that there's like emotional stakes on the line. I get that there's money on the line, but I just don't see people caring that much. I just don't see it.
Matthew's saying TXG aim point episode ? Fitted putter only as good as the line you roll on. I totally agree with that, Matthew. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, if we could find a coach that would take us through it, I'd be down.
We definitely do.
I don't read greens very well, so
aim point, and actually we do have something to talk to you guys about the next probably next week.
Okay.
We will talk a little bit about the let's see, it's a tour read. Oh no. It's too many.
What is that, 7 pages?
7 pages, apps at least.
He's sick.
Yeah, the Tour Read
green reading
green reading app.
That's cool.
Really cool. It's really good.
Will it read our flat green well?
It will read any green very well.
Well, we have a putting green out here. It
have a
technically
lovely
has
green.
slope.
Yeah, has a little bit of slope, and you can put in the speed, and it can.
So
basically
Tour
tell you-
Reed.
Tour Reed putting app. Yep, Ralph Bauer.
Very cool.
Developed that, and he's got a lot of PGA Tour players.
Does he?
I mean, the list of guys that have a strokes gained improvement with it is insane.
That's wild.
It's insane. So
That's wild.
we need to do some stuff with that.
I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suck at reading putts, as you know.
I think most people do.
Yeah, that's fair. It's
think
a
most
it's a
people
common issue. Okay, quick one from Zach. Zach's saying lie angle, fit for start line or curvature? An interesting question, Zach.
Very interesting.
It affects both,
It,
doesn't it?
it does. Yeah, it does. I mean, I think.
It affects both.
Yeah, no. I mean, you really are trying to get both.
Give them the example of why you just went 1 degree up, because I think that's an interesting one. You went 1 degree up. You've never been even.
Never.
Obviously, your swing's improved, but also you would never have considered going up.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was for me that I wasn't really requiring the offset of the hook before. So, yeah, I always curved the ball way too much.
Right.
So I had to have the lie angle down in order to hit soft draws. If I brought the lie angle back up, the 3-4 degrees that I would have needed to, I would start online, everything would move 25 yards left.
Yep.
Whereas I could kind of narrow that down. Now, like you said, Matty, I'm definitely rotating onto it a little bit better. The handle is down a little bit.
Way
so,
lower.
You know, I've kind of got the combination of I've moved my specs back up, and also I'm delivering it
Way
better
better.
than I was. Yeah.
But the 1 degree up helps you get your start line
Yeah.
slightly left and then fade it back to the right. So
Well, yeah, that's it. Start line of being able to make sure you start it, because there's nothing worse than a
Push
fade that
fade.
starts right.
that's what you said to me. You're like, I don't
Yeah.
want to push fade the ball.
Definitely.
I wanted to answer a couple PXG specific questions just because we were just there and I feel like we can give some insight. Someone just said something interesting. Bill said he had a fit at PXG a week ago and the gentleman fit him into all no upcharge shafts. Great. Glad to hear it.
I mean, you know what?
You can do it.
It happens at
Yeah, you can.
TXG as well.
It does. Substitute one letter.
It's funny, Bob Parsons.
That was funny with Bob,
Was saying
yeah.
when we walked in, his assistant, one of his assistants, had said to him, "Okay, Bob, so you've got the guys from TXG in next." He's like, "PXG?" He's like, "Why am I talking to my own people?" And they're like,
We're
"No,
off
it's
to a great start here."
TXG. A little confusing.
That was funny. In his defense, the person talking was across the room. So.
Yes.
And Dave was just mentioning, I think this is fair, before, hard to buy PXGs because you don't know when the big discounts are going to
And
hit.
that's to your point, isn't it?
Bob basically said, Dave, like that's
Yeah.
totally valid. He basically said that stuff is going to stop. They're going to stop doing it. So totally valid, I would say previously, but going forward, apparently it's going to be quite consistent, you know, the way you'd expect from other OEMs. No random $500 off a driver when you just bought one. So good to see. Good to see. Let's take a.
We got 52 minutes.
We got to keep
always-
this under an hour. I
we
know.
always intend
I
to
said
do
40
that. I
minutes,
know.
but it didn't happen.
Okay, let's do what have we got? 3 more minutes?
Nah, as long as we get in before an hour, but yeah.
Okay.
Just don't ask any new ones.
Um,
Okay.
You got one?
Yeah. Okay, we got some serious clubhead speed coming out here. So I tried the G430 LST with Tensi Orange X, buck 17 club, 178 ball, 297 carry. Sounds nice, but you were spinning it too much. Okay. Turn it down. Couldn't hit the face. Was so open. Okay, so here's a interesting question. So he's basically saying he only got to hit a 10.5 turn down. Didn't like the open face. Fair enough. He spun the 10.5 at 3,000. Do you think the 9 would spin in a good window? Is that safe enough?
Yeah, I do think they would spin in a good window.
24? 23?
Yeah, it certainly could do. The likelihood is your strike will move a little bit more. One of the reasons you're probably spinning it a little bit as well is probably heel contact, and low heel contact. The more your face squares up, they'll actually move the strike more toe side.
So spin will come even more down.
Yep. So I think that actually could be pretty good for you. In terms of you're worried about ordering it without hitting it, I would just ask your fitter for, basically if they don't have one for you to try, if you want to buy it, they basically guarantee the purchase. So they basically will tell you, okay, if it doesn't work for you, I'll take it back.
That's great.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, any fitter would.
Yeah.
Hey, you need to change the lofts? No problem.
Yep.
I love it. Okay, what else can we grab here? William said he just got fit for the new Cobra King Tours. Lovely choice. Got a little bit more spin out of them than the CBs. Interesting. Yeah, I saw the same thing. Actually spun the CBs a bit lower, even though the lofts are different.
Matthew's asking about some of the swing changes with Scott. Has Scott strengthened or weakened my grip? Hasn't touched my grip.
No, he strengthened mine a little bit.
He hasn't touched mine.
Hasn't touched your grip. Not that I saw anyway.
All the same.
What was someone asking? There's Wilson chatter. If anyone's wondering, the Wilson drivers are on their way to us.
On their way, yeah.
I swear I saw someone.
I think they'll probably be in Mississauga now, I would imagine.
They might be.
Because I think you said they shipped them, what, 17th
Well,
or something?
yeah, the rep said he was going to look into the tracking, though.
Okay.
Because Mikey would have probably mentioned. I mean, you guys don't have a Wilson account, so I feel like if a Wilson box comes in, everyone's kind of like, oh,
Hey?
the heck is that? Patty put 15 ball marks on it before we even get to test it.
Big Paddy's always good for
Oh.
skying if you drive it.
Is that a Wilson? All right. What else we got? This is an interesting question quickly. Danny's saying, thoughts on Kirkland as a brand? My thoughts, it's nice that, they've made some pretty good stuff for, the fact that you can go into Costco and buy some golf balls, a set of wedges and a putter for, a very reasonable amount of money. They're not crap by any means. The balls have been inconsistent at times, but I don't see why they would be viewed poorly. Every department store has golf clubs when you think about it, so why not Costco? I've personally never, hit any of the clubs, but I've heard they're decent.
Better get this for JT because he's asked it 475 times.
Okay.
Is SST Puring really worth the cost?
Have to get it. Not that we're encouraging you to ask the same question 1,600 times, because we do hate it.
We do.
But for you, JT?
We will.
That's right.
Yes, I would say for me, all my stuff gets pured when I play it. The reason why, I just don't want there to be the inconsistencies of thinking that there's a shaft that is not on the most stable plane. I've seen shafts that are just do not conform to they're out of
you've
orientation.
Said that. It's a good quality control.
It's a quality
tool,
control metric for us that we use within our build process that allows us to to build to the kind of best possible tolerances that we can.
Agreed.
It's funny that the people who claim that it doesn't work tend to be people who don't have the machine. So it's kind of like you've got us in the camp of people who have it, you've got those who don't, and then the two battle back and forth. Well, of course we believe in it. We have it.
Yeah, that's why you have it.
That's why we have it. You look on the list of players on the PGA Tour who are not paid a cent to have their shafts pured.
They just want it to be done.
Tiger has his stuff pured every time.
Yeah.
On the
list is
on
a
the
joke.
irons.
Yeah. On his irons.
On his irons. He
Right.
doesn't pure his woods, but he does pure his irons. Look at someone like Max Homa. All his irons pured.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is one of those things. If you want the peace of mind that your set was built to the absolute best quality possible, then yes. Is it cheap? No. And will you see a performance difference? Maybe.
Maybe.
But you won't hit a shot and go, I wonder if that shaft was in the wrong orientation, because you'll have the peace of mind that
I wish I hadn't wasted, $300 on that shaft. It's just not feeling.
it maybe
feeling
just needed
right.
to be installed differently.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Reggie just put this in and said, just came back. Was my question answered? No, but I'll answer it now.
Ah, well done.
Because I think it's a good one. I just saw that.
Filter.
So from now on, that's new. Because people are always like, did you get my question? And I'm like, I can't find your question. So
What's your
now,
name?
what's your name? Reggie says he swings his driver 100 miles an hour. He's going for driver fitting. If you were fitting me, what are the odds you would keep me in a regular flex?
Zero
chance. Just like your avatar says, zero. It would have to be an autoflex or something, but no. You're a stiff, Mr. Reggie. You'd be stiff in most brands, eh?
Yes.
That search feature is amazing.
Good, isn't it? Well,
Boy,
that is.
technology is out of control this week. Okay, we're literally down. We're going to take 2 more questions, one of which has to be this one here. My fingers are scrolling. Where are you?
Let me grab this one quickly
Yeah.
from Daniel.
Yep.
Daniel got his irons a couple of months ago from us at TXG. I noticed
Nice.
my iron heads are sitting more upright and find that I'm drawing the ball more than usual.
Okay.
Getting iron heads bent toe down will help this overdraw. Absolutely, yeah. The lie angle will help with that. First thing I'll say though, Daniel, is in fact, you grab the next one. I'm going to see who your fitter was.
Yep.
Bear with
Because
us.
you can
I can see
come
who
back.
was fit.
I'm going to grab the other one, which is from Chris. Okay, Chris says, I'm brand new to golf. His bag contains a driver, 5 to pitching wedge irons, and some wedges. Do you think I should go with long irons or hybrids? Easy one, Chris, a hybrid or a fairway wood. A high lofted fairway wood would probably even be better. As you start to, right now it sounds like you have, 8 or 9 clubs. I would say the next thing you should add, a long iron is not it. I mean, I don't even have a 3 iron, for example. Most people I play with don't have a 4 iron. So a 4 and 3 iron are going to offer you probably no value. Whereas a nice, easy to hit hybrid or a high lofted like 7 wood or a 5 wood, I would say probably a 5 wood is the next thing you should put in your bag, building out a set. Actually, Lindsay's bag, she's been asking me because she knows I told you this, she has like 5 or 6 clubs and they're working well. And I said to her, the next thing you probably should learn how to hit is like a little bit longer club, like a 5 wood or something, because she's got like a little 7 hybrid that she really likes. So if you're building a set that isn't 14 clubs, you have irons, you have wedges, you have a driver, high lofted fairway wood,
You also have a little dream, definitely.
Chris, for you.
Yes. So Daniel, you were fit. So I think the problem is who your fitter was.
Was it you?
No, Mikey. So that's
Mikey.
Probably the
Just
the
getting
problem here.
hosed down.
So Daniel was.
Love this.
You were not fit into more upright clubs. You were fit into longer clubs, which make your irons play more upright. So
Right.
Either way, reach out to Mikey. Chat with him. Just let him know that there's. You're obviously a tall guy, mid-sized grips. We've got all your specs in there. So, reach out and chat to Mikey.
Probably go a little flatter.
I think Daniel is also you're based in Edmonton. So if you find yourself, with close enough within a couple hours of getting down to see the boys at Calgary,
He's been.
there you go.
He was the first
Oh, good.
person. He was basically the first customer at TXG Calgary.
There you go.
So
Happy days.
did Mikey go and do fits in Calgary?
He might have done that one for Daniel
In person?
in Calgary, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
So pop down and see
the
Tim
lads there.
and David down there at the Calgary store, Daniel and the boys, and just hit the irons with them.
Yeah.
And they can take a look at them on COD and put some dots on there, and then they've got the loft and line machine to make any adjustments.
Love it. Okay. Okay, we got to take off. Got to take off, guys. Thank you. Good live. Good to be back.
Yes.
As we mentioned, you have 2 videos that I told you what they are.
That's when you know you've got a good
David.
lad.
There you go. Okay, so David is going to email you. How's that?
What a guy.
That's David from Calgary, TXG. He will be in touch.
Excellent.
We will coordinate that. As I said, PXG ball will be video number 1. You'll see that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You will see a video about grip size, which was quite interesting.
It's quite good, wasn't it?
Very good.
I like those videos.
It was interesting. New stuff, not variables that I had seen before. 1 mystery video, which we're about to film, and then a video that just never got posted, but we have it. Ian's experience with the new JPX 923s.
Yeah.
So those are the videos for this week, and then we will see you next Monday for a live.
That is exactly it.
Sound good?
Awesome.
Okay.
Guys, have a great week. Follow along on the Instagram this week. I think there's some Paradigm posts. There's going to be some posts about the. I think we'll need to reach out to John and the guys, because I saw Lauren's message there about can we post the shorts about the swing video, Brian's driver fit, the PXG.
We didn't film anything that
We
we said
didn't film
we
any
were
of that stuff, so
We'll definitely get.
yeah.
I'll text her.
Follow along, guys, on the Instagram. There's a ton of good stuff coming out there. Sean Oakley, wait times right for fitting these days. It's
much, is it?
probably about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Somewhere in that.
You have a
somewhere in that
cancellation
window.
list though, probably.
We do.
Sweet.
We do. And Kyle H is right. Let's sum up this live. Play best. Play ping. Absolutely.
Cha-ching for the boys.
Cha-ching. We only played ping.
I'm gonna milk that joke for like the next year. So funny.
I know.
All right. Well, we're gonna be leaving in our Rolls Royces that Ping bought for us, and thank you for
Thank you,
joining us
John
on the
K.
live.
Solheim, for those. That was very welcome.
Too funny. Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great week, guys.